Everybody, how you doing? It's John and Forrest here with the Bode Real Estate Group, back for a monthly market update, which we haven't done for like 2 months probably. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. It's partly it's mainly my fault. I apologize. I was in the UK for a month, came back a few weeks ago, and Forrest was kind of manning the fort when I was away.
I was doing it all.
Pretty much.
He was also embarrassed about his new haircut and he didn't want to get a video done, so
it's grown in.
It's grown in and it looks really nice.
I now have permission to do the video.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jumping in.
Okay. What are we seeing out there? So I think the stark difference between the last video we did, which is probably 2 or 3 months ago, and this one is that sales activity has increased, which is kind of odd because usually in the summertime we see a bit of a lull in activity. Spring is usually where the activity is. This year, obviously, there was a bit of a shock from the whole tariff, Trump annexing Canada situation, and just general fear of recession.
51st state.
Yeah, quite a few biggies.
Yeah, there's some big things there.
Quite a few biggies in there. So I think that kind of froze the spring market, and I think a lot of people that were frozen in that market decided that maybe the show must go on, right? Kind of like with every policy shock or any kind of shock in general to any kind of market, there is a kind of wait and see period.
And slowly bleeds out into the real estate market.
Exactly, and it generally is, it's funny, it's always about 6 months, which correlates exactly with when Trump got into now, pretty much with the market picking up. So if you look at the numbers from spring, they were about 25%, give or take, below 2024 spring's numbers. So the sales volume, so the amount of sales happening was only 75% of what was happening last year. It's massive, yeah.
Massive.
Especially for a year with much lower rates, right? So everyone was expecting strong buying, strong selling, it was going to be a stronger market, and it was just way weaker than anyone could even imagine. Coming into summer, the last 2 months have reported just a little bit below 2024's figures, or around about the same, depending on the market. So we're kind of back to a more normal market in general. We're still below the 10-year average, but if we think about the last 10 years, it's pretty much been a complete bull market, bar a few years, right? Yeah. So it's a little skewed. So I think we're at pretty normal figures now, but we have a ton of inventory.
Well, even for June, we saw quite an increase from June of this year to June of last year, which is good. And inventory still feels like it's swelling in a lot of markets. There does still seem to be a lot of sellers just kind of hoping or holding on to these prices from a year or so ago. Like they're really just like holding on, like my house is worth this and I'm not going to sell for any less. And then throughout the marketplace, we're seeing the sellers that actually want to make a move are being quite realistic with their pricing to start, and then the buyers are playing a bit of hardball, and we're seeing people taking not significantly, but if we've got a comparable sale that's even recent, a few months back at say 1.5, like you are seeing people take what would be considered below like the market value right now, just to move things along. So if they're like the same household for 1.5, it's not uncommon right now to see another very similar house sell for 1.475, 1.46, even less in some cases. And for the most part, it's not anybody that's distressed. It's that they're trying to make a move to something else that they love and really enjoy, and they're able to get enough of a discount or a deal on that property where they're fine to take a bit of a hit on whatever they're selling.
Yeah, I mean, look at with the deals we have going right now, a lot of them are sell buys. So people already have a home, we're selling it, and then we're also helping them buy something, right? So when it comes down to how we're navigating that, whether they're buying first, subject to sale, or whether they're selling first, then going to buy, the reality is it's not really about like what's your house worth. It's about like what can we realistically get worst case scenario, and what can you realistically buy, and what's the spread. It's not about the values of each product so much, it's about what the gap is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of irrelevant to a lot of people like that their home is worth less, and it's kind of irrelevant to it should be more relevant, I was going to say, to first-time home buyers that everything is down, but we haven't seen many jumping in.
There's not a lot, no.
I mean, we haven't really worked with many this year at all. A few.
A couple of the last deals, the condo deals we did, have been first-time buyers on the buy side, but we haven't really been working with any.
Yeah.
We've got 1 or 2 in the pipeline.
And I was talking to another realtor office the other day about this. It seems to be a bit of like, there's a lot of fear out there, but it's kind of like a golden opportunity to buy right now with rates being lower, high inventory, and everything else. We're not seeing a lot of downsizes as well, primarily for the fact that obviously, if your house is worth 1.5 and now it's worth 1.35 or 1.4, and the condos have only gone down 50 grand, that spread might not be as attractive, but the move up spread is really where I think
the move up spread is great. Yeah,
that's really where I would say 2/3 of our deals right now are people moving up. Right.
And to touch back on the first time buyer thing, it's hard to kind of grasp because there are some absolutely fantastic condo deals out there right now, and I think it's an issue of kind of oversupply in some areas for condos. There's literally just so much inventory. Like for example, we have a condo in Surrey that's priced quite well, and they're just not getting any activity on it. But when you look at it as a whole, there's like 300 condos for sale.
And an area like Surrey is like it's just saturated.
Very saturated. So you're seeing these huge saturation in these condo markets, and I think it's like people are just taking their time with it, and like if they've got an okay budget, there could be 100 condos that match their criteria. So they're going to look at like 5-6 a week. It could take them months and months to like work there all the way through, and they're a bit hesitant to make a decision right away because they're like, well, there's just so much inventory. I want to go see this one. I want to go see this one.
What if prices drop even more?
What if prices come down even more?
There's no urgency on that in that part, but obviously, with the move up, oftentimes it's for families growing or wanting to be in certain areas. That's where the motivation is, and I think kind of going full circle on what we're talking about, this market really is a tale of two different avenues right now. It's the motivated and the not motivated. And the only ones that are actually getting things done are the motivated. The ones that are not motivated or don't have to do it, generally speaking, are just not going to be okay with the pricing, and or they're just going to put it on hold.
Yeah, and that's whether or not like it's. I mean, even if the pricing is accurate, you give someone a very accurate value of what their current like value would be on their home in this market, and they're just like, well, no, it doesn't. I don't want to do that. It's just sometimes the sticker shock of what they could have gotten a year and a half ago to now is just not enough to make them do the move.
Well, and I think also it's just the practicality of it. So let's say you're a young family, you've got kids, maybe a dog, and you've got this house, it's kind of always messy, and you're like, okay, we want to move up, but it's like, okay, it's not going to be like a quick one and done, like 1 week on the market, let's get it done thing. This could be 3 months of trying to sell and then going to buy. And do I really want to handle that right now? Exactly, do I really want to put my family through this? Because we know it's not going to be a quick process. It will be painful. The pricing won't be good. We may have to lose a couple of places in the process and in terms of the purchase. So I think a lot of people are just kind of putting on a hold. It does feel like real estate's taking a back seat this year, but like with everything, it's temporary, right? So I think if there's less shock coming south of the border, I do think we'll see things continue on this trajectory, and I do think we'll probably see some bright times ahead, but I think it's going to be very gradual, and I don't think prices are going up anytime soon.
Prices are definitely not going up anytime soon. I can't really see any indicators of why they would. I do kind of predict that a lot of the stale inventory should be coming off the market the next few months. I think in this last part of the year here, all these listings that were on 6-8 month listings that have been sitting around overpriced or just like priced well, but there's nothing special enough about them to make someone make a move. Those should kind of bleed off, and then hopefully we'll have kind of like a reset of people that are a bit more realistic with a bit nicer listings that actually want to do something and are willing to price the home accurately, which kind of stimulates the market. The more inventory that it looks good and is priced good, the better everything's flowing, right?
And I think that's why it's flowing more now, is that there's been a steady kind of 6 months of lower pricing selling, because obviously it's only the lower prices that will sell. Buyers know what they're doing. So as more and more of those register, it just becomes more and more difficult to ignore the facts. Like in February, it was very easy to be like, oh, well, I had to sell quick because they did this. So but then you've got like 4 or 5 months of like, okay, now this is actually just the new normal now.
The data builds up.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Like earlier in the year, we also had a lot of trouble with pricing and like trying to explain why we perceive someone's house is going to sell at a certain value. And we just didn't have the data to back it up. It was kind of, we're going off our gut.
You had like 1 or 2 comps.
1 or 2 comps, we're going off our guts, and it's kind of puts a bit of hesitation on the seller's side. But like you say, now that we have 6 months worth of data, it's much, much easier to have anybody who's even remotely on the fence of trying to be realistic. Here's the data. This is what you're looking at.
There's no running from it.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's like, if you want to do it, this is what we're looking at.
So yeah, I think this is why things are kind of getting better, and I think it's just a natural bleed out process. It just is what it is, and like we kind of said, it's like if you're moving up, it doesn't matter at all. If you're downsizing, it might matter. If you're
There's
a first-time
definitely
home
an
buyer,
equity loss from the last couple of years for sure.
yeah,
So,
yeah. But like life goes on, right? Life is short. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's a personal thing for everyone's situation. If you want to talk about your own personal situation and get a non-biased view on where you're at and what you want to do, whether it's downsize, getting into the market, upsizing, whatever it is, we're here to help. So please reach out, and we'll be back next month.
Next month.
We're fully back at it.
We're fully back at it.
So, so we're back next month, and hopefully we'll have a kind of continuation of the same news.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, everybody, you have a great day and take care, and thanks for watching as usual. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out below.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.